The humans arrived quietly, almost invisibly, moving through the dense forest of Rithel 7 with ease that betrayed centuries of adaptation. To any casual observer, they were ordinary, lean, scarred, armed with tools that seemed primitive at first glance. But the truth was terrifying. Every movement, every glance, every decision was guided by instinct and experience that no other species could comprehend. They did not strategize in conventional sense. The planet itself seemed to flow through them, bending to their will as they navigated rivers, cliffs, and predator territory with uncanny precision. Across the valley, a pack of massive, six-limbed predators had been stalking a village, their jaws and claws capable of tearing apart any known species. Yet as the humans approached, the creatures froze, hesitation flickering across their instincts. One human, barely more than a teenager, raised a hand. In that single motion, the predators were subdued, immobilized by traps they never saw coming, struck down without a single injury to the humans themselves. Lieutenant Varric, observing from orbit, could hardly believe it. They barely realize what they're capable of, he muttered. Commander Lyra Kellen felt a cold chill run down her spine. This isn't just skill, she said quietly. This is natural force incarnate. Throughout the night, humans reshaped the valley with subtle, almost imperceptible efficiency. Villages remained untouched, yet every approach, every path, every potential hazard was neutralized. Rivers shifted, fallen trees created barriers, and natural cliffs became perfect vantage points. They did not move like warriors. They moved like predators bore the wilds themselves, understanding every threat instinctively, predicting outcomes before they even happened. And the scariest thing, at least to those watching, was that the humans did not recognize the true extent of their own power. From the edge of the system, alien fleets observed, eyes wide with disbelief. They had studied countless species, some millennia ahead in technology. Yet these humans defied all models. They were efficient, adaptable, and terrifyingly strong without realizing it. Rochelle, a multi-limbed alien commander, whispered to their lieutenants, "They don't even know what they are. If they did, entire fleets would never reach our world alive." The words hung in the air, heavy with awe and fear, as the humans continued their work, completely unaware of the cosmic eyes upon them. By morning, the valley had been transformed. Predators were neutralized, natural hazards redirected, and the villages stood unscathed but impenetrable. Kayla, one of the humans, crouched atop a ridge, surveying the landscape with quiet satisfaction. Her companion, Yarrick, glanced at the distant forest and smiled. "They'll never see us coming," he said. Kayla chuckled softly. "We're not hiding. The world just works with us. That's enough." Their casual tone, the ease with which they reshaped death into survival, sent a shiver through the alien observers who had come expecting to conquer or study. As the sun rose, casting light over a valley that looked serene yet deadly, the humans began to move again, not in formation, not as an army, but as living extensions of the terrain itself. Every step was deliberate, every action instinctive, yet completely natural. They fought and survived not because they sought dominance, but because survival was woven into the fabric of their existence. And as they continued their quiet, unstoppable work, one truth became clear to every watching being in the system. Underestimate humans, and the consequences could be catastrophic. The galaxy had long dismissed them, but these humans, barely aware of their own strength, were a force beyond comprehension, and the universe was only beginning to realize it. By midday, the first signs of an approaching alien scouting force appeared on the horizon. Sleek, metallic ships skimmed low across the forest, sending sensors and drones to map the humans' positions. To any ordinary species, the humans would have been easy prey, small in number, lightly armed, and seemingly isolated. But these humans moved with a calm confidence that was almost unnatural. They did not scatter, hide, or panic. They anticipated the scouts' every move, adapting the terrain to their advantage before the aliens could act. Kayla signaled to her squad with a simple hand gesture, and the forest seemed to respond. Fallen trees shifted to block paths, rocks tumbled down slopes at just the right moment, and hidden pits swallowed approaching drones with terrifying efficiency. The humans' weapons, scavenged and modified from alien technology found long ago, combined with natural traps, shredded the attackers without exposing a single person. Lieutenant Varick's voice trembled over the comms. They're not even trying to fight at full strength, and they're already unstoppable. From orbit, Commander Lyra Kellen and her officers watched in disbelief. "It's instinct," she muttered. "Pure, honed instinct. They don't even know they're this strong. They're apex predators in human form." Even the Andari fleet, trained for interstellar combat, was helpless to predict the humans' actions. Every time an alien drone tried a new tactic, the humans adapted instantly, their response faster than any algorithm could calculate. It was terrifying, brilliant, and utterly alien. The alien scouts tried to regroup, forming patterns designed to corral the humans. But the humans were already several steps ahead. They split into small units, striking from unexpected angles, using the terrain itself as a weapon. A river that should have blocked movement became a natural trap, flooding and redirecting enemy drones into explosive hazards. Forests that should have concealed the humans instead became hunting grounds, where the aliens were lured, trapped, and destroyed before they could retreat. Kayla crouched atop a ridge, surveying the aftermath with calm satisfaction. "They'll have to learn the hard way," she said to Yarrick, her voice low and steady. "Every move they make teaches us more. Every mistake costs them dearly." Yarrick nodded, his grin almost casual, though his eyes glimmered with awareness of the power they wielded without realizing it. The humans weren't fighting for glory, nor even for survival. They were simply living, and in doing so, they had become something the galaxy could not anticipate or contain. By sunset, the valley was silent again. The alien scouts had been repelled, scattered, and incapacitated. Not a single human had been harmed. Kayla and her squad moved through the terrain, resetting traps and repositioning for potential threats yet to come. To the alien observers, it seemed impossible. These humans were small in number, yet every action reshaped the battlefield. Every instinct was weaponized, every movement a calculated force of nature. And the most terrifying part? The humans themselves barely recognized the magnitude of their own strength. As the stars began to glimmer above the valley, Lieutenant Varick's voice came through comms, shaky but reverent. "They don't even know what they are, and that's what makes them the deadliest species we've ever encountered." Commander Lyra nodded, a sense of awe and dread settling over her. The humans had survived impossible odds on their own planet, adapting, enduring, and thriving. Now, faced with a wider galaxy, their instinctive strength made them unpredictable, unstoppable, and utterly incomparable. And deep in the valley, as night fell over the reshaped landscape, the humans moved with quiet purpose, unaware that every step, every action, and every instinct had become a warning. The galaxy had long underestimated them. And the scariest thing about humans was that they scarcely realized the full extent of their own power. The calm of night did not last long. Far beyond the valley, sensors detected the arrival of a larger alien contingent. Ships bristling with weapons, drones buzzing like swarms of mechanical insects, and reconnaissance fleets mapping every inch of the terrain. The humans did not wait for them to attack. Instead, they spread across the valley like shadows, positioning themselves with uncanny precision. Every ruined building, every scarred tree, every natural ridge became part of an invisible network of defense. Kayla led a small squad to the high ground, scanning the horizon. She barely noticed the alien ships. To her, this was routine. Every instinct honed on Earth told her exactly where to move, where to anticipate, where to strike. Yarrick crouched beside her, eyes following the patterns of the enemy drones. "They think they're coming to fight," he said, "but they're just stepping into a trap they can't even see." Kayla nodded. "They're learning the hard way. Everything they do teaches us more about them, and the moment they understand, it'll be too late." When the alien ships advanced, the humans struck, not with raw numbers, but with perfect timing and flawless execution. Mines buried in the soil detonated in synchronized sequences, channeling the enemy into narrow corridors where hidden railguns and energy traps shredded them. Rivers were redirected to wash away assault drones, collapsing bridges severed reinforcement paths, and forests erupted with ambushes that made even the most advanced alien AI fail. The humans fought without apparent coordination, yet every movement was part of a larger, instinctive strategy that adapted instantly to new threats. From orbit, Commander Lyra and Lieutenant Varric watched in stunned silence. They don't even know what they're capable of, Lyra whispered. Every instinct they have weaponized without thinking. The galaxy hasn't seen anything like this. Varric nodded, voice tight. It's not just strength or skill. It's evolution in motion, and they don't even realize it themselves. The battle continued for hours, yet not a single human fell. Each wave of alien attacks was met with intuitive countermeasures. A drone squad that tried to flank the humans was caught in a sudden landslide, collapsing exactly as the humans anticipated. Another group of ships attempting orbital strikes found themselves ensnared in electromagnetic traps that rendered their systems inert. The humans did not celebrate or exult. They moved silently, efficiently, and lethally, as if this was simply the way the world worked. By dawn, the alien contingent had been decimated, scattered, and broken. The humans emerged from the shadows, seemingly unaffected, their expressions calm, even casual. To the alien observers, it was incomprehensible. A small group of humans, armed with simple tools and instinctive brilliance, had turned the battlefield into a demonstration of unmatched power. Kayla surveyed the valley, noting the patterns left behind. The traps reset, the terrain reshaped to perfection. It's not about fighting, she said softly to Yarrick. It's about surviving and thriving. Everything else follows naturally. As the stars faded and sunlight touched the ruined landscape, Lyra realized the truth. Humanity did not need to recognize their own strength to wield it. They were the ultimate predators of instinct, capable of reshaping the environment, neutralizing threats, and outthinking opponents without conscious effort. The galaxy had long underestimated them, and the scariest part was that humans themselves barely knew the full extent of their power. And somewhere in the valley, amidst the ruins and reshaped terrain, the humans moved on, preparing silently for whatever came next, a force of nature disguised as ordinary people. Their true strength lying not in technology or numbers, but in the indomitable instinct forged over centuries on a world that would have killed anyone less capable. The morning air was thick with tension. From orbit, the alien fleets regrouped, sending signals of coordination across hundreds of ships. They had expected a simple skirmish, a minor annoyance, but the humans had already turned their valley into a fortress of instinctive lethality. Now, the aliens approached with a full-scale assault force, weapons primed, drones swarming in calculated formations, ready to overwhelm any resistance. The humans did not wait. They had no need to. From every ruined building, hidden trench, and forested slope, they emerged with precise timing, as if the battlefield itself flowed through them. Each movement was effortless, yet devastating. Mines detonated in cascading sequences, ripping apart drone squadrons. Traps deployed instinctively, ensnaring ships and redirecting them into natural choke points. Rivers surged where they were needed. Cliffs gave way at exact moments, and forests erupted with ambushes the aliens could not anticipate. Kayla led a squad across a ridge, her eyes scanning the battlefield with casual precision. They think they can control this fight, she murmured. They have no idea who they're dealing with. Beside her, Yarrick fired a makeshift railgun, taking out a hovering drone before it even detected them. Their weapons were crude by interstellar standards, yet lethal when combined with a human's instinctive mastery of terrain and timing. From orbit, Commander Lyra Kellen and Lieutenant Varric watched, powerless to intervene. They don't even realize what they're doing, Lyra said, voice tight. Every instinct, every reflex weaponized naturally. Humans aren't fighting, they're survival incarnate. Varric swallowed hard. If the galaxy doesn't see this coming, entire fleets could be lost. And the humans, they don't even know their own strength. The battle escalated. Alien drones swarming in desperate attempts to overwhelm the humans. But every maneuver, every tactic was anticipated. Humans moved as extensions of the valley itself. Their instincts intertwined with the terrain. A group of approaching walkers plunged into a pit hidden beneath rubble, while another squad triggered an electromagnetic trap that disabled a fleet of hovering drones. They did not celebrate. They merely moved forward, adjusting, adapting, surviving. As the sun reached its zenith, the alien forces faltered. Their numbers, technology, and coordination were impressive, but nothing could counter the humans' instinctive mastery of the battlefield. Every wave was repelled, every strategy neutralized, and every retreat covered by humans who seemed to anticipate the enemy's every thought. Kayla crouched atop a ridge, surveying the battlefield, her expression calm. "It's not about being strong," she said to Yarrick. "It's about knowing without thinking what to do next. That's what makes us dangerous." By nightfall, the alien fleet was shattered, broken, and scattered across the valley. Not a single human had fallen. The humans had survived, adapted, and turned a potential massacre into a demonstration of unrecognized power. From orbit, Lyra realized a horrifying truth. Humans were apex predators of instinct, capable of reshaping battlefields, neutralizing threats, and surviving against impossible odds, all while barely recognizing their own potential. The stars shimmered over the valley as the humans moved through the ruins, resetting traps, reinforcing positions, and preparing silently for the next challenge. The galaxy had underestimated them for centuries, and the scariest thing of all was that the humans themselves did not even know the extent of their own strength. They had endured, adapted, and finally stepped, and the universe would never be the same. The following days passed in a blur of relentless efficiency. The humans did not rest, nor did they celebrate. From the valley, they expanded their influence across the surrounding forests, rivers, and mountains, transforming every inch of terrain into a network of instinctive defense and survival. Alien reconnaissance ships attempted to map their movements, but each attempt failed. Every drone was intercepted, rerouted, or neutralized before it could transmit data back to its fleet. Kayla and Yarrick led squads into uncharted territory, encountering hostile wildlife and natural hazards that would have killed ordinary humans without hesitation. Yet they moved with casual precision, reading the environment as if it were an extension of their own bodies. A collapsing cliff became a trap for enemy scouts. A volcanic fissure was used to funnel mechanical attackers into a narrow death corridor. Every obstacle was an opportunity, every danger an advantage. Commander Lyra Kellen watched from orbit, her voice hushed with disbelief. They're not just surviving, they're converting the planet itself into a weapon. Every instinct, every reflex, it's like Earth flows through them. Lieutenant Varick's tone trembled. They barely realize what they're doing. They don't even need to understand their power. It manifests naturally. The alien fleet attempted a coordinated strike, sending hundreds of ships in tight formations, hoping overwhelming numbers would compensate for their underestimation. But humans had already anticipated the assault. From hidden positions atop cliffs and deep within ruined cities, they unleashed a devastating array of traps, projectiles, and energy disruptions. Entire squadrons were disabled in seconds, ships crippled, and drones shredded. It was not strategy in the conventional sense. It was instinct perfected over centuries of survival on a death world. By midday, the alien fleet was in full retreat, the remnants fleeing in disarray. Not a single human had fallen. Kayla and her squad moved silently through the aftermath, resetting traps and reinforcing natural choke points. "They'll try again," Yarrick said, his voice calm but alert. "But by then, they'll have already learned too late." Kayla nodded. "It doesn't matter what they bring. We survive. That's what we do." The scale of their instinctive power began to ripple across the galaxy. Reports reached nearby star systems. Alien fleets destroyed without understanding how. Worlds defended with force that seemed supernatural. Humans appearing in small numbers yet capable of reshaping entire battlefields. And through it all, the humans themselves remained unaware of the true magnitude of their abilities. They fought not to dominate, but to live, to endure, and in doing so, they revealed a terrifying reality. Humanity was a species the galaxy had long underestimated, and they barely understood their own strength. As the sun set over the valley, painting the ruins in crimson light, Kayla gazed across the transformed terrain. Every river, every ridge, every forest had been molded by instinct and survival, yet she barely thought of it. "We don't need to know," she said softly to Yarrick. "We just are, and that's enough." Above them, alien observers recorded the devastation in disbelief, finally beginning to understand what generations of humans had already known. Underestimate them at your own peril. And somewhere deep in the galaxy, fleets paused, civilizations reconsidered, and every star system began to realize the scariest truth of all. Humans barely knew the limits of their own strength, and that made them unstoppable.